The Niagara Regional Police has a new chief, and he comes from within the same organization. Bill Fordy served as deputy chief for 6 years after decades with the RCMP in BC. And on just his second day on the job as chief, he sat down with our very own Adam Atkinson.
Niagara's new police chief was born in Sudbury, grew up in Oshawa, and was drafted by the Hartford Whalers in 1983. But the 9th-round pick hung up his skates before making it to the NHL.
I broke my hand twice, my arm, my collarbone. I just decided it was enough.
He didn't have any plans of being a police officer after his hockey career ended. It just happened.
I went to school and, there was a gentleman who was in the RCMP. And I remember he said to me, he said, "You'd be a really great member." And those words resonated with me.
Fordy joined the RCMP and worked his way up through the ranks in BC over 28 years. He worked on some pretty high-profile cases like the Robert Pickton investigation. Fordy interviewed the pig farmer killer for 11 hours after he was arrested.
It might be the most high-profile, but it probably wasn't the most meaningful or impactful. Although it was meaningful and impactful because there were a number of victims, some of the lessons learned and some of the interaction with family members in other investigations was just as meaningful.
The 58-year-old says he was recruited by the NRPS 6 years ago, and because his 2 children were in university in the province, it was the right time to move back to Ontario. As deputy chief, Fordy came under fire by local anti-racism groups in 2020 when he suggested systemic racism isn't an issue in the NRPS.
I've been quite open that it was a learning opportunity for me, that I've acknowledged both in the organization and outside the organization that there are systemic barriers.
The new chief says the crime rate in Niagara is going up, and some of the main issues this area is seeing: homelessness, drug addiction, and guns.
We're seeing increases in gun violence. We're seeing increases in things related to social disorder, the impact of drug addiction, homelessness, mental health. All those things will continue to be pressures for law enforcement agencies across the region.
Chief Fordy says as the population of the Niagara region increases, crimes the area didn't see 10 years ago, like auto theft, are beginning to happen regularly now. Adam Atkinson, CHCH News, Niagara Falls.